fans are anticipating a top 10 matchup between number 9 UCLA and number 10 Oregon. This is the first time in 71 meetings that these two teams have been ranked in the top 10 going into it, which means there's a lot on the line. Remember when Chip Kelly was the guy in Autzen Stadium? Dan Lanning has his squad looking similar to the Ducks of old. I heard it gets very loud in here.
Yes, sir.
Harry Lyles and HD ready. I mean, where'd you guys get this? I don't understand where this came from.
We borrowed it from a fan.
Yeah.
Of course. Wait, how's this going to work? We all have
on this side.
You go outside. Okay. It's raining outside, guys. It's very wet here in Oregon, but it's good. Fans have been out here for like literally forever, just standing in the rain, so it's great. Welcome to Countdown to Game Day, presented by Dr. Pepper, by the way. You guys, how are you feeling?
A little cold, a little rainy, but I mean, look,
it's cold and rainy, but when you got flamingos behind you, it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. When you got flamingos behind you.
That kid is missing a tooth. I don't know what happened to his tooth. Probably from just being out here. Okay, we like to start every single show with something that we call our 3 big things. Thank you very much for that. Guys, a lot happening in college football this weekend, obviously this matchup, but HD, let's start with you. What do you have as your big thing this weekend?
Number 6, Alabama and that defense, particularly their secondary, who gave up 385 yards, 5 touchdowns last week. I haven't been big on Alabama's secondary this year. The 2 games that we were at, actually watching in person against Texas and Tennessee, they gave up a lot of yardage, but today they played Mississippi State, Mike Leach in that air raid system, so they're going to get tested. Will Rogers right now, he's 3rd in the country in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Will they be able to recuperate from last week in that heartbreaking loss in Tennessee?
Yeah. All right. Lyles, what do you have?
you know, my big thing is supposed to be UCLA, Oregon, and the winner of that one, you know, carrying the torch for the Pac-12, but for me, it's quarterback here holding your umbrella. But no, in all seriousness, I am intrigued by this game because these are 2 teams that are playing their best football right now. A lot of people were down on Oregon after that UGA loss. I think that's excusable. The defending national champions coming out and having just one of the best wins that we've seen on college football season, short of Tennessee, Alabama. But to me, UCLA has finally become what a lot of people thought Chip Kelly was going to bring to UCLA. And so to see this converge while facing his former team, to me, I'm excited to see this one and who's going to be the torchbearer for the Pac-12.
I like that they just got hype as you were saying that. They have no idea what you said. They were listening to Herbie, but it just worked out perfectly. Okay, my big thing is the fact that ACC football, I feel like every season, starts off pretty hot, and then we start talking about the fact that the ACC is the weakest conference in college football. Obviously, Clemson has carried it historically, but Clemson, Syracuse, 2 unbeaten teams in the ACC. But the thing that's kind of crazy about the ACC in general is the fact that there's 5 teams ranked in the top 25 right now. So I feel like we should be talking more about the ACC, but as I mentioned, we always talk about Clemson. We never talk about Syracuse.
We talk about Clemson, Christine. You
are the person that talks about
Listen,
Clemson.
everybody always talks about Clemson. Listen, everybody talks about Clemson. We talk about DJ. We talk about the defense. We talk about Clemson all the time. But I think the fact that the ACC has 5 ranked teams right now, we should be talking about the ACC a little bit more. Maybe we're sleeping on them a little bit, but we'll see how the season goes, and especially how Syracuse does against Clemson today. All right, now, as we know, we're halfway through the college football season. So we figured because we're halfway through the college football season, it's about time that we give out some mid-season awards. HD, you're going to be the person that tells us who's winning these awards, because apparently you're like the guru on our show right now.
We call it football guru, Christine.
Yeah, the football guru. He's the guy that actually played football. So we're going to start off with most surprising team, and these are the teams that were unranked at the start of the season but now are doing things that we never expected. All right, the teams that are currently on this list as nominees: Tennessee, TCU, UCLA, Syracuse, and Kansas. All of those teams unranked at the beginning of the season and now ranked. HD, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the team that's undefeated still right now. I am going with Syracuse. Yes, a surprise. One of those ACC schools that they're talking about. But Syracuse has a phenomenal defense. They're ranked 6th in the country right now. They have 2 guys over there, Mikael Jones, also Garrett Williams at the quarterback position. But you talk about their 2-headed monster on offense, and Garrett Strader, the quarterback, who's a dual threat guy, and Sean Tucker. Man. So I'm going with Syracuse. The first time they're 6-0 since 1987. So that's why I picked them.
And I think Kansas deserves some love because, you know, they've won 5 games this year. You know the last time they won 5 games? 2009. They also won 5 games the last 3 years combined. So to me, Kansas Kansas, got to get them some love as well. But I love the Syracuse.
We had
Yeah,
to
of
give
course.
Kansas love. And honestly, if Kansas was still undefeated, I would have picked them. But the fact that Syracuse is still don't have a loss, they have that goose egg in the right side of the column. That's why I picked them.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Syracuse, Dino Babers, the head coach at Syracuse, will be on game day today, so don't miss that. All right. Biggest disappointment is the exact opposite of most surprising. Teams that started as ranked teams and now are obviously the biggest disappointments. We start with Texas A&M, Michigan State, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame. Those are the teams that are the nominees for this category. HC, who do you feel like is the winner of this category?
I'm going with Texas A&M. I don't think Jimbo Fisher, as a head coach, has performed the way he's supposed to perform. You talk about top 10 recruiting classes, the number 1 recruiting class last year. They're sitting at 3-3 right now, 1-2 in the ACC, with losses to Alabama. We kind of expected that loss,
Right.
but Mississippi State and App State, inexcusable. So I'm going with Texas A&M.
That App State loss was wild. Lyles, you agree? That's true.
But I will say for me, Oklahoma is the because you just had everything sort of coming back. Everybody was really big on that Brent Venables defense, and it has not been there. So to me, I do think that's a good pick. But
Right.
also, again, honorable mention to Oklahoma.
A little growing pains there in Norman. Okay, let's move on to individual awards for players, and we start with this one. Unsung heroes. These are guys that we don't really talk about as much, but we probably should be talking about them a little bit more. On the list of nominees for this one, Chase Brown at Illinois, Trey Palmer at Nebraska, Jalen Hyatt at Tennessee, and Adrian Martinez at Kansas State. HD, who do you have as the winner for this one?
I'm going to go with Chase Brown from Illinois. He is the main reason why that Illinois team, along with their defense as well, but from an offensive standpoint, he's the leading rusher in college football right now. He's a bruising tight back. They run everything through him. Tommy DeVito came over, from Syracuse, is now their quarterback, but I'm going to go with Chase Brown.
Lyles, do you
Listen,
agree?
the guy has not had a game where he has not had 100 yards rushing yet this season.
Okay, solid. Lyles, do you agree?
Yeah, you're not really going to have a rebuttal for me on that one. I mean, like, very clear and through right there. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I got no argument against that.
Okay, the last award for individual players is Best Weapon. I feel like I don't even have to explain that. That is the guy that is the best weapon on their squad. Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Blake Corum, Brock Bowers, or Hendon Hooker. HC, who do you think?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
And I almost went with Jahmyr Gibbs, but it's no way that I can ignore Hendon Hooker, especially since they just beat Alabama. And if Hendon Hooker was not on Tennessee's football team, they would not be undefeated. They probably will only have 2 wins. You talk about an offense that is leading the nation right now in just about everything. And if they're not leading the nation, they're top 3.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Hendon Hooker with that one.
Yeah.
And I'll make the case for Jahmyr Gibbs, since you, obviously, I think that is a good pick. When I think of weapons, I think of somebody that is at somebody's disposal. Typically, the quarterback has weapons at his disposal. So to me, Jahmyr Gibbs fits in perfectly that way. I mean, we've got to see him live and in action this year. That is one of the most dynamic players in the country. Even when he's not playing his best, you can still tell that dude is different than everybody else out on the football field.
You want to know who he reminds me of? I think he is a more athletic Alvin Kamara.
Oh,
And that's saying a lot because Alvin Kamara is a promised player in the National Football League.
Yep.
But I think he is a more athletic Alvin Kamara.
I love that.
Yeah, when we were watching both of those guys, Hendon Hooker, Jahmyr Gibbs last week, literally the wildest thing to watch in person right there on the sideline. They're amazing athletes. Okay, we end our awards with top play of the first half. Okay, 4 nominees for this one. Locked in with the one-hand catch, the App State Hail Mary. This is the one that HG loves. Zay Flowers getting mossed a Louisville touchdown. I know that you didn't even, I can already guess that that's not going to be your top play just for personal reasons. And then the Texas A&M lateral fumble recovery touchdown versus Arkansas. Who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to go with App State, that Hail Mary, simply because we was at that game. We did College Gameday from App State. The atmosphere was electric, just like it is right here in Oregon. So I'm going to go Chase Price threw up a prayer, man, and his receiver made a play for him.
It's hard to beat that. And I actually have a nominee that's not on that list, that Tennessee kick.
Yes.
Because that was both the most ugly and the most beautiful kick I think that I have ever seen. Just because the way that ball was wobbling and all that,
goodness.
and then it sneaks over that goalpost, and then we got 100,000 of our closest friends with us on the field. I mean, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Can I tell somebody something really quick?
Yeah.
So I'm recording after the game, and a grown man decided that he wanted to run on the football field and pick me up. And I was karate chopping dropping this on. Get off of me, man.
The disrespect.
Yes. You didn't see that part.
Oh, yeah. HD wasn't having it.
I was angry. I was not happy at all.
I was wondering where everybody got the cigars from. It was a great time. Okay, another great time that only I had this week was with Bennett Williams, DP, for this Oregon team. I got to hang out with him earlier this week. Check this out.
So cool.
Hey guys, Christine Williamson here at Oregon's football facility, and it was built in 2014, but it looks like it's brand new because they were ahead of the game. $68 million to get this thing done. I'm gonna go hang out with Bennett Williams. He's gonna show me around.
Here is the famous Players Lounge.
Oh, it's famous.
It is famous.
Okay.
Oh, yes. This right here is my sanctuary.
How many dubs do you have on this ping pong table?
I'm not counting, but 0 losses. This is where it all happens. It's the locker room. This is pretty cool. Kind of comes down, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Feels like it's gonna fall on you,
does.
but it stops right there.
Okay. And then you put your...
Like all the stuff that is kind of sweaty.
That's why it smells like what it smells like in this locker room, because your air
What did you
counts
expect?
all of this.
What did you expect?
What's your favorite one?
That's this one right here, Ohana. That's the favorite one I've worn.
Okay, Bennett, so I want to talk a little bit about Dan Lanning and just how he's changed the culture here, because the one thing that we do see is on game day, you guys are hype, right? You guys look like you're having a lot of fun. What has the culture shift been like since he's been here?
Night and day, really. I can't be thankful enough for him coming and just his energy and his spirit.
Bo said that this is the most fun that he's had playing football in a very long time. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, 100%. I feel like a kid. Like I get to, I'm coming out here and every day practice is actually fun. Like, yeah, it's early. It's it gets repetitive. Our body's hurt, but it's just, it feels like we're where we belong again. Not like, oh, we have to do this again. This big, beautiful cape is for you, actually.
Thank you.
There we are.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Good look on you.
It's time now to look at who has the Fansville advantage, presented by Dr. Pepper. And for this, we look ahead to next week. There's a handful of games out there. Which matchup do you think the home fans will create the biggest advantage, Lyles? What do you think?
For me, it's that Cincinnati UCF game. Not a lot of people talking about UCF right now. Those dudes are playing some good football. They got some monsters on that defense, and the bounce house is always crazy.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Kansas State. I actually had an opportunity to play there in 2006, and that crowd was crazy. I miss the Kansas State days with Michael Bishop, those 3 linebackers, Darren Sproles, Jordy Nelson.
We might be there next week.
I know.
We gonna see.
There's a chance we might be there next week.
I'm sorry, is there a motorcycle out here? I don't know if you guys can hear that. I smell gasoline. I don't know if there's a motorcycle. Anyways, let us know what you guys think.
You sure that was a motorcycle that wasn't me? I'm sorry.
You smell like gasoline.
So you got your own umbrella holder.
Okay,
Are you
listen,
kidding me?
this
First
is
of all,
the
it's not
problem.
raining.
It is raining.
It's not raining.
It's not
It is
raining.
absolutely not raining.
Hey, but see, the thing is, I gotta protect my head in case it does start raining again. You see these curls, bro?
Okay.
Here's
Can't
the
mess
thing.
these up.
All right,
I, as the person who is the quarterback for this show, have to actually, hold something in my hand so I can't hold an umbrella
Okay,
at the same
all right.
time.
Okay, understandable.
I'll follow because you're the leader, so I'll follow.
And also, you're welcome for giving you an umbrella just in case it
pretty
rains.
good, thank you.
Exactly.
Wow,
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about week 8 in college football, and we're going to start in the Big 12. But before we do that, actually, I think Porto is out here doing the helmets. Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah.
We know how this goes, right? He's going to choose.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I know he's not gonna throw down that Oregon hat. It looks too
I
nice.
was going to say it's a really
He
good
loves this.
Oregon
Look
helmet.
at watch him rile him up. Kiss it. Kiss it. Yeah, baby.
Like you said, Lyles, that's a good-looking helmet. I would want to kiss that helmet also. It's
a good lid.
It makes sense.
Great lid.
Okay,
Okay,
week 8
Christine.
preview. What?
You want to kiss the helmet. It's fine.
It's a nice helmet. Okay, let's go to the Big 12. Number 20, Texas. At number 11, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State been doing big things. Texas, though, the favorite in this one, despite being on the road. This is the first time they've been a road favorite as a lower-ranked team since 1978.
Wow.
No more Jim Knowles defense for Oklahoma State. The Cowboys are giving up 5.5 yards of play. I don't know where that, I just got wet.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Bijan Robinson is the third in FBS at 6.6 yards per touch. So
That
how
boy
does
good.
Oklahoma State's defense slow down Bijan?
Well, their defensive line is the strength of their unit. They're going to have to obviously get some penetration to stop Bijan. Bijan's an animal. I mean, they split him out wide at wide receiver last week. He's just such a dynamic playmaker. He can do so many things. I think what I've seen so far, I think Texas is the best team in the Big 12. The Big 12 is very good top to bottom.
Right.
I'm interested to see this game, especially since Spencer Sanders, he's been banged up a little bit, and how healthy he is.
No, for me, when I look at this Texas team, they're a different ball club when Quinn Ewers is the quarterback.
Right.
7 touchdowns since he's returned the last 2 games. You look at Spencer Sanders, didn't have a good game last week against TCU. A little bit up and down, wasn't efficient. Who do you have more confidence in between those 2 quarterbacks to get it done today?
Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn has more help. Like Spencer Sanders has to run, he has to throw, he has to do it all. I can throw it to Bijan, I can throw it to Johnson, I can throw it to Xavier, who's a baller out wide. Xavier Worthy can fly. So I think I trust Ewers and Sark's system. I think it's easier to run than Spencer Sanders.
And that's also been the story of Spencer Sanders his entire career. It's like, hey, can he put it together? Can it be consistent? It's always, hey, if you get the good Spencer Sanders, that's great. And if not, you just got to hope for the best.
But I tell you, Bijan Robinson is phenomenal, though. What can Oklahoma State do to kind of slow him down, man?
Nothing. I mean, he's gonna get his. I mean, and I love what Texas is doing with their tempo. Their defensive line, again, that's their strength. They can get some penetration and maybe do something, make something happen. But I just think there's going to be. They better outscore them if they're going to win this game.
All right, a fun fact about this one is the fact that Oklahoma State has actually owned the Longhorns when it comes to this matchup. They've won 8 of the last 12. That game at 3:30 p.m. on ABC. Okay, let's go to the ACC. We were talking about this earlier. Actually, we've talked about this a few times. What was the last time that Syracuse has been this good at this point in the season?
1987.
Thank you. I gave
Was that Barbara
last week.
And Donovan McNabb.
Oh, Donovan McNabb.
Obviously, they're on the road today against Clemson, the 5th team in the country. Just the 4th meeting in the ACC where both teams are 6-0 or better. Syracuse has the 6th-ranked defense in the nation. So which part of Clemson's attack will test that defense the most today?
I think it's interesting to me, the Syracuse 3-man front versus DJ. DJ struggles against a 3-man front, which is interesting to see. The run game for Clemson, this is what makes it go. What nobody talks about is Clemson's tight end room. I think it's a top 5 tight end room in the country. They got a freshman, just watch number 9. He's a big, huge, cyborg-looking thing that they split out wide with Allen, who's another 6'6" tight end. Like, they've got a great tight end room. DJ's been running the ball. I'm interested to see against a really good defense. But I'm starting to trust Clemson. I don't know about y'all. I don't know if y'all are buying into the hype, but oh, you are?
Thank you.
Oh, geez.
Well, that's right. Miami's gone, so
You didn't open up a can of worms, DP.
okay.
Yeah.
Are you trusting him, Harry?
I mean, I want
That's it. By the way, that's a no. That's a no. That's a no.
But I know better, right? That's what I'm saying. So, let me ask this. We know about the 1-2 punch that Syracuse has got, but we also know about that Clemson defense, specifically that defensive line. What do you do going up against that? Because you can't just run through them, right?
I think it's more predicated on you got to beat them through the air. And that's what Wake Forest could do. They could spin the bean out wide and win the matchups because they're young in the secondary. When you talk about up front, like I'm watching their tape this week, and I literally just started writing down numbers, and I got to 11 on the defensive front. The defensive front that are like, that's a good-looking dude. I mean, you just go, I was getting past Brussy and Murphy and David. Like, dude, it's crazy how much talent they have on that defensive line, how many guys they rotate in and out. Schrader will have to throw the football effectively. Tucker, I know he's a baller. He ain't going to pound Clemson. You ain't going to do that.
Well, that was my thing. When we look at Schrader, I don't think enough people are giving him credit for what he has done this year. Do you think, being added to the run game, do you think that can help out Sean Tucker a little bit more?
Oh, 100%. It has to. Because I don't think they're world beaters up front on the offensive line. Listen, he throws the ball pretty well. He doesn't turn it over, which is the most important thing. If Syracuse turns this over, this game's over. Like, they got to protect the football and play great, and then they have a chance to win this game. But Clemson, I trust Clemson. Clemson's playing at home where they've won 30-plus straight games. The atmosphere will be stupid. So I'm big on Clemson. I don't see Syracuse.
That number is 37 in a row at home. And
I said 30-something.
He said 30-something, 30-plus. Syracuse is just 2-8 all time against Clemson. Oh, hello, dear. How are you?
I thought everybody was supposed to wear togas.
It's a toga party. It's a toga party, by the way.
Let's think about Clemson's defense.
That's why.
I don't see the toga.
Let's talk about this matchup because this is a top 10 matchup. Oh my gosh, your head is heavy. That was a lot. Thank you for that. Anyways, it's a top 10 matchup. UCLA and Oregon. This is the first top 10 matchup in the Pac-12 since 2016 2016, and coincidentally, that is the last time that the Pac-12 went.
Oh my God, get your head off of me. What are you doing?
I was bopping a lot.
That big bird getting in the way.
Anyways, okay, so 2016 is the last time that the Pac-12 went to the CFP. The Bruins on a 9-game win streak, second longest in the country, and the Ducks have been on a roll since their opening week loss to Georgia. So for the Ducks, I talked to Bo Nix yesterday, or was that, I don't know what today is. Today's Saturday.
I thought you talked
to
to Bo Nix this week.
Yes, thank you. But what have you seen out of his play? How has it evolved for him as a quarterback?
Well, I think first of all, they haven't played very many good teams, which has really helped.
Right.
Their best win is Washington State in this stretch, and Washington State hasn't been great on defense.
Yeah.
I think that Bo Nix's success, if you watch him, 47 of his passes have been completed behind the line of scrimmage. By far the most. He's got 47 passes downfield for 10-plus yards. So, this is a dink and dunk offense. Bo Nix is going to run the football. That's their recipe for success. And I think DTR will do a lot of the same. Both these quarterbacks' running game will be paramount for
So that's what I was going to ask you about DTR. I think he's fifth in the Heisman odds at this point. That offense is going. How does Oregon, because I don't think they're going to stop him, but how do you slow him down?
Well, the good thing is Oregon's good they're good defensively against the run. That's their strength. So that matches up well. But you got to get DTR in known passing situations. You got to change the look on him because his system, they do a good job of motioning to figure out what you're in. Well, you better motion when they figure it out. You better change. And then Jake Bobo's a grown man. Oh yeah,
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's bad.
That dude is not talked about enough right there, number 9.
6'5", 215.
Transfer from Duke, not a lot of love, but guess what? He sticks his foot in the ground. He is not a burner, but that dude changes directions as well as anybody. He put Clark Phillips on skates in the Utah game, who's a really good corner. That dude's legit. So I think his DTR will run the ball. Jake Bobo getting him involved. Sharpen it. I think UCLA's offense has more help than I think Oregon's. Bo Nix better play. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, do you want to tell him what Bo Nix told us yesterday?
Bo Nix told us that you did a phenomenal job, Christine, with your interview. He really enjoyed it. He loved your energy. And all your hand motions, he was like, yes, that is her. That is her.
So Reese got delayed in his flight, so I had to do the Bo Nix interview. And I'm going to say I did have a really great time with Bo. It was great. We talked about Chick-fil-A. We talked about,
Bo comes off the bench, you come off the bench. That's perfect. I mean,
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not, but we love that. We love that. Okay. Any other final thoughts? Who do you have winning this matchup?
I wanted to ask him about this, though, because I don't think a lot of people are actually talking about this. Chip Kelly, who once coached right here, led this team to a national championship. They didn't win it. He's coming back and trying to build the same thing at UCLA. What do you think about that, man?
well, I think Chip's not going to give us anything. He's not going to be exciting, but this will definitely be something that he'll be feeling, and all these people will be feeling. It'll be awesome. But I mean, Chip's the reason this place is built. I mean, you look at the facilities and stuff; it's stupid. But he hasn't been here in a long time. You think these kids remember that?
No,
Not really. They're too young.
I'm sure they Googled it, but they don't remember. Chip Kelly was in the NFL for a long time. I think it's been a hot minute.
2012 is 10 years.
10 years?
Right?
They don't-
It's been a decade. They don't really remember that. But I
I don't know
will
what
say,
happened yesterday.
Exactly.
Hold on, let me see my timeline. Nah, bro.
But I will say that this team looks a lot like the Chip Kelly team. They look like they're having a lot of fun out there. We had fun with you here. Thank you for hanging out. You mentioned the fact that Bo Nix said I did a great job with his interview. Check it out right now.
Bo Nix entered the transfer portal and a week later has now landed with the Oregon Ducks.
How has that transition been for you?
It was hard because I loved Auburn and I had so many great memories there and so much fun times, great people. So ending that and giving that up was tough. It was one of the tougher decisions I've ever made, kind of pressing stop on something that you've worked so hard for. I felt like it was time to move on and go start over and start fresh, and what better place to do that than here at Oregon.
There's a lot of room to run. 35, 30. Are you kidding me? Bo Nix, touchdown Oregon.
Where do you feel like you are currently as a quarterback in reaching your potential?
I feel like I'm as far ahead as I have been really in my career. I've played the most complete, kind of consistent football that I've played. I wanted an opportunity to go and compete at the highest level and win a national championship, and in my opinion, I couldn't have picked a better place, even though it was literally opposite ends of the country from where I'm from. I was kind of ready to accept the challenge and go and just do it, go accomplish something that may seem hard, but at the end it's going to be rewarding.
Game Day. Also coming up on Game Day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, head coach of the Oregon Ducks, Dan Lanning, joins the show live ahead of that big matchup today against UCLA. You're not going to want to miss that. Then at 9:35 a.m. Eastern, Jen Lattis sits down with the quarterback running back duo on the other side of this matchup at UCLA to talk about their chemistry on and off the field and why this team feels different. Then at 10:50 a.m. Eastern, even diehard college football fans don't know Doug Koch, but they probably do know the Oregon motorcycle guy. Check out the story of the leader of the Quack who is retiring after 23 years. Then at 11:15 a.m. Eastern, after 4 years in Lincoln, Nebraska, Adrian Martinez has found new life and is playing his best ball in Manhattan, Kansas. That's a little apple. Gene Wojciechowski has the story on the Nebraska transfer. All right, now we welcome in Akbar Gbaja-Biamila. Okay, listen, and they also, listen, look, they put it phonetically. I feel like that makes it worse. I feel like that makes it even worse. Okay, the host of Ninja Warrior, The Talk. I mean, basically he's a big deal, right? Okay, so this is a top 10 matchup. I mean, it's huge. You obviously have a student here at Oregon, so you have a lot to report. That's why you're wearing the Oregon green. It looks great. It looks great.
I had the Jordans to go with it, but I decided I didn't want to do that and get a mess up.
I was gonna say it's wet outside. You have to wear some rain shoes, like Harry chose to wear. Obviously, the red bottoms. That's like what you shouldn't be wearing in the rain. Anyways, top 10 matchup. What do you think about this matchup today?
Well, I love this matchup. Not just because my son goes to school here, but you look at what UCLA has done and how they built up, their program. I see them going back and forth, but ultimately, this is a defensive-minded head coach in Coach Lanning. I think Oregon is going to end up winning this game, and I think that's going to be a big move. Oregon's moving on up.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Pac-12 a little bit. The four teams that we're known for, especially leading the Pac-12 right now. You have UCLA, USC, Oregon, Utah. Of those four teams, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, who are the two that are going to contend for the Pac-12 championship in your eyes?
I think UCLA is going to be at the top of that one for me. I mean, I called the upset in this game, but ultimately UCLA, I think, has the ability to go longer. You look at what they have with their quarterback, DTR. DTR is unstoppable. He's playing great football right now. So I look at that, and I say UCLA edges out on the top of this. Okay. Chip Kelly's on fire right now.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
So let's say Oregon wins this one, right?
Yep.
Win out. Do you think that they have a shot at the playoff?
Ooh, boy. My son is still asleep right now, so he's going to be able to the question you're asking is a tough one, but it's no, they don't. They don't have a shot at the playoffs. Not this season. I hope nobody throws any eggs at me.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Okay, I'm going to hold this actually. Okay, so what has been one of your favorite? I don't think this is going to go on with this over me. but okay, so what has been one of your favorite moments in your job post-career?
I think the American Ninja Warrior has been such an amazing thing. Seeing these athletes. I thought football players were the best athletes on the planet, but I'm telling you, until you see those Ninja Warriors, they go hard.
Okay, so I would like to explain to you what exactly just happened.
Okay, what just happened?
On the cheesiest chain. This is the first time that we're wearing it this season. It's been reserved for college football's most passionate fans, the ones who show up on game day, and we're debuting this today. So that's exactly what this is. It's the cheesiest chain on the planet.
It's very fitting, right, that the Miami grad is wearing a chain.
Yes, it is.
We have retired the chain at Miami. This is the cheesiest chain. I mean, we don't do that anymore. This looks good. This looks really good with my outfit.
Is that real?
It's real diamonds.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I have no idea. It's real cheese.
Real cheese.
Anyways, so wait. Okay, so we have. Are you cheering for Oregon? What happens in the game today? Are you cheering for Oregon?
Yeah, I'm cheering for Oregon.
Okay.
Like I told you, I'm wearing the green to support Oregon. This is my first time to a game, so I'm happy.
All right, we'll see what happens today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yes.
And thank you guys for watching Countdown to College Game Day presented by Dr. Pepper. We'll see you guys when we're a little drier, hopefully, next week.
So, man, how you like this?
I love it, bro.